In the Philippines, we take a look at the technician and his wife who gave of themselves at the Tzu Chi clinic. In Hualien, diplomat of the ROC met with Master Cheng Yen and expressed his gratitude towards Tzu Chi. Selamat datang ke Hualien, saya Semengan. Terima kasih menyertai sesi berita kita. In the Philippines, Melvin, who used to be a Tzu Chi scholarship recipient, is now serving at the Tzu Chi Eye Clinic Center. He has also met his wife here, and the two of them support each other as they give off themselves.
Helping out with checkups, maintaining equipment, sanitizing tools, and operation room. He's not a doctor or nurse, but he's an important person at Tzu Chi Eye Clinic.
I've been working at Tzu Chi since 2007. Although I cannot help people with money, I want to work hard and help people who face difficulties.
Through hard work.
He was a Tzu Chi scholarship recipient, and now he has learned professional skills and is paying back to society. He serves at distributions of free clinics. He has also met his wife here. His wife is a nurse. Before joining Tzu Chi, she never thought she would join free clinics.
May video yung professor ko na parang may suffering sa...
When I was studying, my professor once asked us if anyone was willing to serve at free clinics in Africa. I did not raise my hand back then. However, after joining Tzu Chi, everything has changed.
Pero nagbago yun nung nakilala ko yung Tzu Chi.
The two of them are falling in love here. Now they serve at their posts and support each other, hoping to bring smiles to the patients' faces.
Binigay din sa akin ng blessing ni Papa Lord, yung maging nurse is to serve other people.
20-year-old Mak Wei Yi was originally employed in the PR industry, but was unfortunately laid off by her company during the pandemic. Running a vegetarian restaurant is her dream. With the encouragement and help of her family, she rented a stall to sell vegetarian burgers. Let's take a look at her story.
The grill makes a sizzling sound and each veggie hamburger patty is fried golden and crispy. It is all made without any animal ingredients. The boss of the stall has an ulterior motive behind this business.
I want my customers to eat my food and feel all kinds of warmth. I hope that their heart will feel warm. If the customer is happy when eating, then I'll feel a sense of satisfaction.
She was originally an office worker, and after being unemployed by the pandemic, she moved into the catering industry and started her own business.
I've always had a dream that I want to open a vegetarian restaurant. However, there's a movement control order, and if I open a restaurant now, it seems to be very risky. So I thought about it and got the idea about starting small and giving it a try and gaining some experience first.
If she wants to make burgers, I suggest that she sells vegetarian burgers, as you can also promote goodness and virtue. In fact, people nowadays are very health conscious and many people are vegetarian.
Li Kuai-Lan has been a vegetarian for more than 30 years and is a big help behind her daughter's business. On weekends, her family will also find time to help.
I will help my sister fry burgers. I don't do it too long, just some mornings when I don't have anything else to do anyway. That's when I come out and help do a little bit.
At the same time, we pay attention to the quality of the food. The quality should not be too bad, as we should make sure the customers enjoy it. Then they'll know how to cherish the food and enjoy the delicious food.
The uniqueness of our veggie burger is that the taste and seasoning make it difficult to distinguish whether it is meat or vegetarian. Even meat eaters like it.
In fact, vegetarian food can also be delicious. It can also encourage more meat eaters to become vegetarian.
The customers who eat meat and ate the veggie hamburger didn't know it was vegetarian. They came back and we told him it was vegetarian. He said he was surprised and it was still very delicious.
In addition to running a stall, she also promoted veggie burgers through Facebook, as she has met many kind people and even sent the burgers to orphanages and nursing homes.
I'm also a vegetarian and I have been searching for a long time. but I can't find this vegetarian burger. Later, I found her and it was very good, and I want to share it. So we give these kids in the orphanage a chance to try it, which is fun for them.
I was glad to see them happy. That made me thinking it's not really tiring making 100 or 200 of these hamburgers. It's definitely worth it, and I want to thank those who made it possible, as I'm very grateful to them for the donation that made this possible.
After thanks from the children, they politely began to enjoy the burgers, with each one eating with great gusto.
The burger good or not?
The food the kids eat must be halal, so if you are vegetarian, it's okay.
Vegetarian, yeah. So then it's okay.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mok and Mr. Tan, for sending the burgers to us.
For bringing the burger.
The BRDB Rotary Club Children's Home accommodates orphans of all ethnic groups, and these veggie burgers were delivered to them. This day brought great joy to all the children.
During the pandemic, both teachers and students need to adjust to the new norm. As for the students of the Tzu Chi Unity School for Refugees in Selangor, their education conditions are relatively poor as they face many challenges.
With the announcement by Malaysia's Ministry of Education that primary and secondary schools have resumed classes, students at the Tzu Chi Unity School have also returned to school. Nurkayas, a refugee from Myanmar, has 4 brothers and sisters. Her father is disabled, and her mother takes care of her at home. The family expenses are all borne by the elder brother.
During MCO, only my brother is working. It was very difficult for me to study online. Because I could not afford to pay internet, I need to study first, then he study.
Refugee students have poor learning conditions on weekdays, and the epidemic has made conditions even worse. Nurkayas and her younger brother in kindergarten can only use mobile phones, taking turns with online lessons.
One day or 2 days like this, he didn't absent his class. Then we also say to teacher, he don't have phone, so he cannot study.
Nargis has the same experience as Nurkayas. A family of 7 has escaped from Afghanistan and came to Malaysia for more than 2 years. The aunt who made masks in the factory became the family's source of income. She was able to learn in a foreign land, and she cherishes this opportunity.
I'm thankful for school that they buy the data so I can be present in online classes.
If you coming to our country, we still educate them, give them chance to be a good human being.
Although life is difficult, there's no hindrance to the determination of refugee children to study. The school hopes to do its utmost to remove obstacles for children so that they will have no worries on the path of learning.
In Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteer Nguyen Ching Shui, who has immigrated from Vietnam to Taiwan 20 years ago, has had a life story turned into a TV drama. She said that when she first moved to Taiwan, she had a hard time adjusting to life here. Now, she is a volunteer and is leading a joyful and fulfilling life.
The Master has taught us to form good affinities with people before we can attain Buddhahood.
She's Tzu Chi volunteer Wen Qing-shui, who has immigrated to Taiwan from Vietnam when she was 20 years old. She has faced language barrier and other challenges in life. Now her life story has been turned into a TV drama.
More than 20 years ago, people said that Vietnamese people will run away. I heard many negative comments about Vietnamese people, so I disliked Taiwanese and Vietnamese people.
They face a language barrier and have to take on other life challenges. It is truly difficult for them.
Back then, Wen only wanted to make money and send it back to Vietnam. She faced a lot of conflicts with her mother-in-law and children. After joining Tzu Chi in 2012, she opened up her heart.
Whether it is good or bad depends on whether you are willing to change or not. If you change, you can influence other people.
Originally, she did not like Taiwan. However, since she joined Tzu Chi, she had to raise funds from the neighbors, and she inspired people's love.
Wen has become a volunteer who gives of herself without asking for anything in return. She has also become a lecturer on jelly flowers, leading a fulfilling life.
Hualien, ROC's diplomat Raymond Wong had a war meeting session with the master. When he was a representative in the Philippines and in Portugal, natural disasters occurred which caused the lives of the locals to become very tough. Tzu Chi volunteers have always been there after the disaster, which left a deep impression in Raymond's mind. Take a look. In 2013, Typhoon Hualien devastated the Philippines. Tzu Chi enacted the Work for Relief program, encouraging the locals to restore their homes with their own efforts. Raymond Wong, who was a representative in the Philippines back then, was touched by Tzu Chi's actions.
Tzu Chi volunteers arrived on the very first day, seeing the Tzu Chi brothers and sisters distributing and cooking the Jingsi instant rice, distributing mineral water, flashlights and blankets. It is truly touching. In 2017, 2 consecutive forest fires occurred in Portugal, which left the affected residents homeless. Raymond Wong was a representative in Portugal back then, and he wrote a letter to Tzu Chi requesting assistance. Volunteers then headed over and carried out 3 sessions of aid distribution. In the mountainous regions in Portugal, those old farmers never thought that Taiwan, which is so far away from their country, would send people over to Europe to help them. Here's a book for the master. Thank you so much. Raymond Wong has written the 2 affinities with Tzu Chi in his book and headed over to the Jingsi abode to express his gratitude towards the master and all the volunteers. Tzu Chi's love and care has made our society very warm. Tzu Chi's spirit is always to step into others' shoes and think what is best for them. It is always a special affinity, as the volunteers' kind actions not only stays in the hearts of the affected residents, but the kindness will continue on, passing down to more people in need. Darling Tzu Chi Hospital's Gastroenterology Department, along with National Chiayi University's Management Information System Department, created a polyp detection system with the help of AI. The system increases polyp findings and reduces the incidence of cancer. 70-year-old Mr. Wong suffers from stool occult blood. Therefore, he received a medical check, and through the help of AI, he removed polyps within his body.
Last time I removed 1 polyp, this time I removed 3. There was a more detailed attempt this time.
Smaller polyp or flat polyp hides inside the folds, therefore those are harder to find. Therefore we must use technologies to help us find polyps.
Combining this with AI, within 0.5 seconds a correct location of polyp can be identified.
Normally, through our colonoscopy lenses, we can see 4, but with AI we can spot 6, a 50% increase. There's an advantage to cleaning the large intestine beforehand, because there wouldn't be distractions such as stool or bubbles. Thus, it becomes easier for the computer to detect polyps.
After removing the polyp, I feel more relieved because I didn't know what was inside me. I also won't feel saddened.
The doctor reminded that once symptoms are present, or if the patient has a history of colorectal cancer, one should be more alert and receive regular checks, lowering the risk of cancer.
In Chiayi, Dr. Cao Wenlong, director of the Dementia Center at Darling Tzu Chi Hospital, has been concerned about the symptoms of memory deterioration among the elderly many years ago. He actively connects various community resources to form a dementia-friendly community care network. Take a look.
Poster carriers who shuttle through the neighborhood are the Green Angels who are known to the elders in the community best. This poster carrier Zheng Guibing called on others to join the training program to care for dementia patients.
Because I think that the post-carriers are the most active in the entire community, they know almost every family. In particular, they all know when the parents of each household look like and what their conditions are like. If the seniors are found to be in a condition, the postal carriers do not know where to report to. So, with Dalian Tzu Chi Hospital held a training program of dementia-friendly, the postal carriers in each of our regions can deal with the situation. Starting from a post office, there will be the seeds of the Jiayi Post Office in the future.
Basically, the post office has always encouraged colleagues to care for and assist the disadvantaged groups, hoping that they can participate in the front line. As they are familiar with the locals, when there is a situation, they can report it, let the professional units to take over. It's great to have different units involved to form a close network.
That is because our dementia center in Dalian Tzu Chi Hospital has rooted in the community, and with our medical unit as their support, they can take the responsibility to engage in the promotion of dementia care.
The Dementia Friendly Community Project not only recruits dementia friends in the community, but also hopes to recruit various organizations and businesses to join to provide dementia-friendly services. Therefore, Dr. Raymond Wong and the Dementia Center team members visit the various organizations and businesses to promote. A convenience store owner was moved and decided to join the training program.
As a caregiver myself, I'm more able to help family members of dementia in the same way. If we can help more people in need through our own little contribution, I think this is also the greatest contribution to a convenience store and the community.
In order to build a dementia-friendly demonstration community in Jiayi County, Raymond Wong also led a team to connect with the comprehensive concept, hoping that dementia patients can receive support from the family, medical resources, and the community.
Seeing the experts come and knowing that we don't come once or twice and leave, we will sit with them and have a meeting until night, 10 o'clock in the evening. And then we will explore together with the family how to let the elderly with dementia get some care. We hope because of this, they're willing to take us into families with dementia so that we can go in and see what they really need.
In fact, we have been interacting with Dr. Tao's team, especially Dr. Tao. He started from the Dementia Care Center and went deep into the community. It has been operating for a very long time, and he has to visit many places to be able to deepen the concept of dementia-friendly in every corner of the community. So in fact, it is not easy, and he has been with the patient for a long time. I think this is the place where we have always admired him.
Do you know that movements within the musical boxes were once mostly produced in Taiwan, taking up a third of the world's production? In our feature report, we visit the only musical box factory in Taiwan to understand the history of musical boxes.
As the disc moves, the musical box produces a melodic song. This is a large musical box. Considering its size, it costs around $70,000 US. In front, an entire shelf dedicated to musical boxes of Europe spanning over 200 years. Though time has taken a toll on the machines, the sounds are still great. Each comb was crafted carefully by craftsmen of the past. This is the only musical box museum in Taiwan, containing 40 years of Taiwan's musical boxes.
At the time, Taiwan needed around 30 million musical boxes, which is about a third of what the world produced. In order for Japan to increase productivity, Nedek Sankyo collaborate with us, also serving Taiwanese customers.
Since youth, Huang Longxi has been designing movements of musical boxes. He was also the first to be sent into Japan, studying musical boxes abroad.
It's not like I liked it, because at the time I had no knowledge on musical boxes. Responsibility forced me to learn, but the least to say I like music.
There are many forms of musical bells. The type where it's installed in the box is called the musical box. Movements produced by Taiwan once reach a third of world's production, but rarely do people know that the parts were made in Taiwan. In order to let people know of the musical box culture, Huang Longxi established a museum. Each comb has to be tuned before fitting into the movement. Now tuning can be done with a computer. With a simple setup by entering a scale, green light shows up when the pitch is right. But in the past, this has to be done manually, as each song takes about 2 to 3 hours just to get a perfect tune.
Later, you may see when they're tuning. Red light means it's out of tune, and green light means the pitch is within acceptable range.
The founder moved factory production lines into the museum as he hoped to introduce the process to visitors. Picking up a screwdriver and adjusting the inner parts of a musical box, students at the trial class furthered their understanding of musical boxes. The comb has a close relationship with the tunings of a musical box. If installed properly, good sounds can be produced, and at a good location, the lifespan of combs can be increased. The founder mentioned that there are many forms of musical boxes, not just limited to a dancing ballerina musical box. If the container fits in the required machinery of a musical box, it can be defined as a musical box.
Taiwan's musical box industry has already transformed. It's probably because we still have enough supply to China. It's best if we increase our collection at the moment. And there are still musical boxes out there that we haven't purchased yet. I hope to collect those in order to further our museum collection.
Although the pandemic affected sales abroad, and along with the lack of labor, Huang Longxi thinks that no matter how tough it gets, the musical box history can be preserved under transformation. These miraculous notes and machinery from Taiwan had not only made history, but also documented sounds of musical boxes for the past 40 years.
In Hualien, Tzu Chi Elementary School held an international education gala, which enabled the students to broaden their international view. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.